After weeks of leaks and rumors, 7-star Mewtwo has finally been officially announced. Mewtwo is shaping up to be our toughest challenge yet in Tera Raids, but do not worry because DanSquared has you covered. We're going to make sure that you not only survive Mewtwo, but thrive in this raid. Welcome back to another DanSquared video, you Danimals. We are so excited to finally be recording and releasing this video. Mewtwo is finally here. Mewtwo is the original legendary Pokemon. It's the star of the first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, so it's fitting that it is the first legendary Pokemon to appear in 7-star Tera Raids. Now that the run of starter Pokemon in 7-star Tera Raids is done, we hope that Mewtwo is the first in a run of legendary Pokemon to appear in these raids. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on Mewtwo first, and before we can talk about how to beat Mewtwo, we have to take a closer look at Mewtwo itself. Mewtwo has a much higher base stat total than any of the 7-star Tera Raid Pokemon we've seen before. Most notably is its incredibly high special attack stat. This thing is going to be hitting like a ton of bricks. It's got solid bulk across the board with a base defense and special defense of 90 and an HP of 106. It also has a robust base speed of 130, so it's going to be outspeeding most of the Pokemon we taken against it before any stat modifiers. The pressure ability could prove to be very difficult in this Tera Raid if Mewtwo gets it. Moves like Leech Life only have 10 PP by default. Even with the PP max, Leech Life has 16 uses. Cut that in half due to pressure, and you only have 8 uses of Leech Life before you run out of PP. Pokemon that are looking to solo Mewtwo or play an attacking role in group raids might need to carry in a second attacking move so they don't run out of PP. Let's preview Mewtwo's moveset. 7-star Mewtwo is Tera-type Psychic, so it's for sure going to have at least one Psychic stab move. I think it'll have two. I think it'll have both Psychic and Psyshock. Both moves utilize Mewtwo's much higher special attack stat, but Psyshock has its damage calculated with a target's defense instead of special defense. This could get really scary for us because Pokemon with high special defense don't always have as strong defense. If Mewtwo is a true mixed attacker, preparing for it defensively will be a nightmare. Mewtwo has an incredibly deep move pool of powerful coverage moves it can pull from for this raid. It could get Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Energy Ball, Earth Power, Dark Pulse, Aura Sphere, and Shadow Ball. I would be really shocked if 7-star Mewtwo did not have Aura Sphere. Aura Sphere is an incredibly strong special attacking fighting move that will provide excellent coverage against dark types. Aura Sphere has also been a staple in Mewtwo's movesets throughout its appearances in Pokemon. I would be beyond surprised if 7-star Mewtwo did not have Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball may be Mewtwo's most iconic attack in its appearances in the Pokemon anime, movies, and Super Smash Bros. Not to mention that it'll provide great coverage against ghost types that will otherwise be hitting it for super effective damage. Just like Rillaboom had Boom Burst that it used during set points in the battle, hitting all Pokemon on the field, I think Mewtwo will get either Blizzard or Earthquake. Mewtwo also has a ton of useful status moves to pull from. Barrier was Mewtwo's most iconic status move throughout its early appearances in Pokemon. Barrier sharply increased Mewtwo's defense. The only problem is that Barrier no longer exists in main series Pokemon games. Instead of having Barrier to raise its defense, I think Mewtwo could have Amnesia to sharply increase its special defense. I think there's a good chance that we're going to see Mewtwo start off the raid with either Amnesia, Calm Mind, or Bulk Up, just like Rillaboom did with Growth. Calm Mind would be very, very scary because Mewtwo's special attack is already outrageous. If Game Freak wants to be extra evil, they'll give Mewtwo Power Gem. I'm 99% sure that Mewtwo's going to get Aura Sphere to check Dark types, Shadow Ball to check Ghost types, and if it gets Power Gem, then it would check the only other type that's super effective against Psychic, and that is Bug type. Without Power Gem, the often overlooked Bug type has a chance to really shine during the 7-star Mewtwo raids. Armed with this information, let's take a look at our 6 solo builds and bonus support build for taking down 7-star Mewtwo. Here's the high-level look at our 6 builds for taking down 7-star Mewtwo. Stick around to the end to see our bonus support build. Now let's take a closer look at each of these builds. Volcarona is our first Mewtwo counter. It has really good special attack and special defense stats, a great move pool versus Mewtwo, and awesome typing against Mewtwo so long as it doesn't get that rock-type move Power Gem. Our Volcarona has max special attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and we put the last 4 into HP. We're only using special attacks, so we gave it a modest nature to further boost that special attack, putting it up over 400. If Mewtwo does end up using some physical attacks, the ability Flame Body will be clutch. Flame Body will burn Mewtwo, reducing its attack and dealing some extra damage. Quiver Dance is the key to this build. It raises Volcarona's special attack, special defense, and speed. It lets it hit harder, take hits, and move before Mewtwo, which is huge. Light Screen increases the special bulk of Volcarona and its allies. This build uses Struggle Bug to help charge its Terra Orb and help reduce Mewtwo's insane special attack. Bug Buzz is how this build deals damage. It also has a 10% chance to lower Mewtwo's special defense, which will allow this build to do even more damage. We give our build a Shell Bell held item for some recovery. As long as Mewtwo doesn't get Power Gem, we think Volcarona is going to be one of the MVPs against Mewtwo. Next up is Spiritomb. We chose Spiritomb because of its typing and its moveset, specifically Foul Play. We gave our build max HP EVs and max special defense EVs, and we put the last 4 in defense. This build is really interesting because it doesn't use its attack or special attack stat to deal damage. This build uses the move Foul Play to deal damage. Foul Play's damage is calculated with the opponent's attack stat. Mewtwo's special attack may be stronger than its attack, but it still has a base attack of 110, so Foul Play is going to be doing a ton of super effective damage. This build uses Snarl to charge its Terra Orb and increase its survivability. We can lower Mewtwo's special attack all we want without affecting our damage output for Foul Play. We have Taunt to prevent Mewtwo from buffing its own stats or potentially debuffing our Pokemon. This was huge in the Rillaboom raids, preventing Rillaboom from using Growth a second time or Bulk Up. Our fourth move is Substitute to further increase the bulkiness of this build. Up next from Galar, it's Grimmsnarl. We chose Grimmsnarl because it's one of the strongest Pokemon that gets the move Leech Life. Our Grimmsnarl has max attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and we put the last 4 in HP. Our build has a careful nature which increases its special defense for additional bulk while lowering its special attack, because we'll only be using physical attacking moves. Our build uses the Prankster ability, which gives priority to status moves. This lets us get off Light Screen before Mewtwo has a chance to hit us. Light Screen increases the special bulk of this build and its allies. This build uses Spirit Break to charge its Terra Orb and to lower Mewtwo's special attack. Bulk Up powers up Leech Life. Our build's Bug Terra type lets it hit for massive super effective damage with Leech Life while restoring HP. We use the Held Item Metronome to power up Leech Life when used consecutively. Metronome increases the power of moves used consecutively by 20%, capping out at 100% increase. This means that the 6th Leech Life in a row will hit double as hard as the first Leech Life. Its ability to lower Mewtwo's special attack, hit hard and recover, and its deep support move pool make Grimmsnarl an excellent choice for group raids. Next up, it's Goldango. We chose Goldango because of its ability Good as Gold, its immunity to Aura Sphere, and its incredibly high special attack. Your Goldango should have max special attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and put the last 4 in HP. Just like Volcarona, Goldango's special attack is over 400. The Good as Gold ability prevents Mewtwo from debuffing Goldango at all. This build uses Substitute for some additional bulk. Nasty Plot powers up Shadow Ball. Metal Sound softens up Mewtwo for Shadow Ball. This build is going to do massive super effective Ghost type damage with Shadow Ball. This build also holds the Shell Bell for recovery. Even if Goldango gets crushed by Mewtwo Shadow Ball while trying to solo it, it's going to be an elite pick for group raids. With just one support Pokemon to lower Mewtwo's special attack to help Goldango live, this thing is going to deal out massive damage with Shadow Ball. Next up is our first legendary counter, and it's Galarian Moltres. We chose Moltres because it doesn't take any super effective damage from Mewtwo, that flying type changes Aura Sphere from super effective to normal effective, it has great base stats, and it has a great move pool against Mewtwo. Our build has max special attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and we put the last 4 into HP. The Berserk ability is clutch in this raid. That gives Galarian Moltres a boost to its special attack when it gets knocked below half HP. Taunt will prevent Mewtwo from doing any debuffs on Galarian Moltres or buffing itself up. This build uses Snarl to charge its Terra Orb and lower Mewtwo's special attack. Nasty Plot powers up Fiery Wrath. Galarian Moltres is going to hit for massive super effective damage with this move. The chance to flinch is nice, but most of the time Mewtwo is going to be faster than Galarian Moltres, so it doesn't really factor in much. This build also uses the Shell Bell Held Item for some recovery. We had to save the best for last. Who better to solo Mewtwo than Mew? Mew has solid stats across the board, it can learn every single TM, and it absolutely bodied Mewtwo in Mewtwo Strikes Back. We gave our Mew max special attack EVs and max HP EVs, and we put the last 4 into special defense. Our Mew is only going to be special attacking moves, so we gave it a modest nature to increase its special attack while lowering its attack. If Mewtwo inflicts us with any status conditions in this raid, Synchronize is going to be super useful. Synchronize will reflect any status conditions right back to Mewtwo. This build has Nasty Plots to power up its special attacking moves. Our Mew uses Acid Spray to soften up Mewtwo for Pollen Puff and Struggle Bug. Struggle Bug improves the survivability of this build, especially in the early game before we can Terrastalize, when we're in danger of taking super effective damage from Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse. Pollen Puff allows us to hit for massive super effective bug damage. It also gives this build the added utility of being an incredibly strong support Pokemon. When you use Pollen Puff on an ally, it heals them instead of dealing damage. Our Mew's Terra-type bug to hit for massive damage with Pollen Puff once it's Terrastalized. This build once again uses the Shell Bell for recovery. We're most excited for this build, and we think it's going to be the best hands down. Acid Spray softens up Mewtwo for any special attackers, Struggle Bug helps keep Mew and its allies alive, and Pollen Puff allows Mew to hit for huge damage and heal its allies. Now let's take a look at the bonus support build for group raids. Florges is one of the top support builds we have built for Mewtwo. We picked Florges because of its incredibly high special defense, its fairy typing, and its great supportive move pool. We gave Florges max HP EVs and max special defense EVs, and we put the last 4 into defense. Our Florges has an absolutely massive base special defense of 444. The Flower Veil ability is pretty niche, only supporting grass-type Pokemon, but under the right circumstances, it could be incredibly useful against Mewtwo. Florges also packs Light Screen to increase its special bulk and the special bulk of its allies. Tearful Look lowers both the attack and the special attack of Mewtwo, dampening its damage no matter what kind of attack he uses. If Mewtwo does inflict status conditions like Rillaboom did with Paralysis and Delphox did with Burn, we're going to put Safeguard on our Florges. Safeguard prevents any status conditions for Florges and its allies. If Mewtwo does not inflict any status conditions, we're going to replace Safeguard with Helping Hand. This build has Pollen Puff to deal a little bit of damage, but mostly to heal its teammates. This build also uses Shell Bell for recovery. Our Florges is ready to put in work. What support Pokemon are you cooking up for Mewtwo? As with all 7 Star Tera Raids, these builds are subject to change once we find out what moves that Mewtwo actually gets. so make sure you check back in the description to see how these builds get updated during these raids. Let us know in the comments what builds we got right, what Pokemon we missed, and what you are building to take down 7-star Mewtwo. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, dropping a comment, or using Aura Sphere in that subscribe button for more DanSquared. Thanks for watching and happy Mewtwo season!